hello, how are you? My name is Anna Tenbensel. Welcome back to my channel. I look like the grandma from The Big Bad Wolf today, so we are leaning in and explaining a couple of these solutions that I've done over the last week that I've been gone. So I want to start and preface this by I'm trying to do as many LeetCode problems in a year as I can. And this is number 68, text justification, and this solution's in Python. But before I get into the gory details of this solution is not my own. I had probably spent 6 hours on this question, and I could not get it. So I went to the solutions tab, and I looked at the solution of someone named 20Sunny. And I changed a line of their code, and I'm going to see if I can find it. Let's see, Python. Here he is. Here they are. I don't know if they're a boy or girl. So first off, they're doing the most, but they had this Python solution, and out of all the solutions that I ran and I saw, I liked this one the best. I did change these two lines here. I changed over here, and I'll go into a little bit of detail because 20Sunny didn't actually describe what they're doing. So I'm going to describe this code and specifically why I chose to do this. I thought it would be better for memory, and it was not. But basically, instead of using doing manual spacing as needed for this text justification question, I just used a ljust method to pad the line with spaces on the right. So let's go into this question, which again is number 68, text justification. You guys are more than welcome to read this on your own time. But basically the goal was to take a list of words and format them into lines of text with a specific number of spaces added in between them to make each line full. And then the spaces were distributed as evenly as possible. So like these examples down here, you can see it's trying to the same amount of characters, and so on. So they gave us a lot of good examples here. So that was the premise of this. Sorry, I don't know if my head's in the way. That was the premise of this question. So I just started off by creating two empty lists. First result, which was to store the justified lines of text, and then line, which was to collect the words for the current line that's being processed. Then I set the line length variable to 0, which at this point will be used to keep track of the total length of words in the current line, but excludes spacing. So we then go through and iterate through words, list one word at a time in a for loop. And inside this loop, we check to see if adding the current word to the current line would exceed the max width. Like, as I mentioned before, if we put justification of text together, it would exceed that line width. So, and if the code was justified in that current line, like it was too long, then it would start a new line. And then to justify a line, it would have to count the number of gaps between words, which in this code we said num gaps, and then the number of spaces per gap, which is spaces per gap, and then extra spaces that need to be distributed among the gaps. And then once it then constructed a justify line, we add the spaces in the words based on those calculations. After justifying the line, it then resets line to line length. So line to line length to start the new line. And then that loop continues to add the words into the current line until it reaches the maximum width. So we just repeat it until it's been processed. After that, the code handles the last line, and it left justifies the words instead of this is when we do the manually adding the spaces. So it pads that right all the way to maximize. So this is the last word. It pads that to make it put it where it needs to be. Using that ljust method. And then we just append that to the results list, and we return the results list, which just contains those justified lines. So we just are trying to efficiently process the words and justifies the text while keeping memory usage, what I was trying to do, to a minimum. However, my initial submission, which was a day ago, did not do that because it was horrid. But this one, the memory usage was abysmal. So what I thought was going to be a valiant attempt to keep memory usage down, it actually, I think, hurt more than it helped. So I didn't submit 20 Sunny's exact code. I did change a line. So again, this is not my answer, but this is an answer I liked at the time. And I have learned stuff from it because this was like kicking me in the rear end. So, and I also kind of wanted to explain that. I like when people do submissions. I don't know if you guys face this problem at all, but there's people who don't ever like describe their code, and they don't kind of explain or justify why they've done it the way they've done it. And there's other codes on here that were fine. This 10 lines one was okay. Like, I didn't love it. So this one just kind of stood out to me in terms of the way my brain likes the pattern for this and the logic for this. So I have this in a GitHub, in the LeetCode GitHub repo, which is in the video description down below. You guys are more than welcome to fork and clone, make it better, make it worse, have some fun, learn something new. I'll huff and puff and blow your house down if you don't. So anyway, you guys are going to see me like this for the next couple of videos because I'm going to go try to explain these as quickly as I can, so you guys can get all up to speed on what I've been doing in my week and a half of absence. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.